over time, you will get exhausted, because if you're trying to um, do certain kinds of work and learn things and grow and do something new, you do get tired, because like whatever that is, like you're expending effort to do that. Your brain is like struggling and like thinking of how to make new neural connections, and then you have to like basically take a break and walk away from it so your brain can start like wiring that stuff up, because what you have to realize is that neural connections are physical things, like they're real things, and your brain has to use and expend energy and like food sources and nutrients and everything and water and all this stuff to actually build those and strengthen them. And that does take time, and also sleep. Um, so you have to like basically keep trying to do this. It's like going to the gym, like where you work out, and you put in that effort, and you get tired and exhausted, and like, all right, I'm done. And you can't move anymore, because like you used up your muscle strength for that day. Your muscles are tired. Um, and then you go, you take a break, you eat, drink some water, you relax, watch some TV, jerk off a little bit, take a walk, whatever the fuck, and then you go to sleep, and you wake up the next day, and you might feel sore, but you feel like you do have energy. So maybe you take another break for a day, and then like 2 days later, it's like, all right, I feel like I can move again, and then you go back and you notice that you can do it a little bit more easily now, you know, because your body has actually expended energy and food sources and effort and resources to actually build those muscles back up again. They repair them and they build them back stronger. They repair them and they build them back bigger. And there's also neural connections that are being made too, so it becomes easier for you to move, and you can like just get into the movements more easily, that kind of thing. Um, this this stuff is really important. That's how it is. And sleep, there's all these like things that happen, complicated things during sleep that I don't fully understand, that will rebuild this, that will rebuild all the muscles, rebuild neural connections. But it's the same thing with this. So there's a combination of like repetitions and doing it, but like knowing what you want to do and going towards it, and also like learning new things and like trying new things and discovering new things too while you're trying to do something, figuring things out, seeing what other people are doing, trying to study it, copy it, recreate it, and add your own little spin on it. That's great. When you get to that point, that's really good. It's like if you can learn somebody else's song on guitar, and then you feel like you're getting it down. Like I kind of know this, it's under my fingers, and then you play with it a little bit. Like maybe I want this note to be over here, and that's like spontaneous play. It just kind of comes to you, and you'll realize that just kind of happens because you get good, you get better. I think your brain will just be like, I want to do this instead of that, and that's where the magic is, because that's your taste, right? That's your taste with, um, you know, the taste that you're actually putting into making something, um, and that's huge. That's a huge, big fucking deal, where because that's your artistic expression. That's you coming in and saying like, this is what I like. This is what I want to do. This is what I think is good. And that's you. That's your voice as an artist. That's what that is. That's your creativity. That's your originality. That's where it's like, well, I wish I had my own ideas. It's like, that's it. That's fucking it right there. You got it. Um, but the thing that happens is like, it doesn't seem to happen, at least not for me. Like it can come to you, like you can go to sleep and you wake up in the morning and like I just have this idea, I just want to like do it. That's kind of cool. It's fun. Like maybe you have a dream about it. You're nodding off, drifting off to sleep, and you're like, oh my gosh, like that's the thing that I want to do. Like I want to do that. That's really cool. It just kind of comes to you. Um, but that might not happen unless you're like trying to do this all the time. So like if you're like really working and um, you know really trying to like make something that looks cool, that looks nice, like, oh man, this is just not looking right. I don't know. It's I'm not feeling this. It doesn't look good. I don't know why. I don't really like it. And then you get frustrated, you put it down, go take a break, play a video game, go eat something, drink some water, talk to somebody, walk around, and then you're like, oh my gosh, like I can do this, I can do that, like it's kind of coming to me, like man, I could put this thing over here and that would look better. Um, and that's your creative voice too. I think this stuff just kind of comes to you. It's like your brain will just make it up, and just realize this thing. Like, oh my gosh, I want to do that. But it doesn't seem to come to you unless you're like trying to do the work anyway. Like, I want to make an art piece, or like you have an idea for an art piece, but you don't exactly know like the exact finished piece. It's just this idea. Like right now, I'm imagining like this, like a sharp, kind of like industrial blue, bright blue, and like a woman with like short black hair, and she's in like this orange jumpsuit with like white stripes, and there's like this cool like white technical looking text on it, and it's like just diagonal lines and stuff, and it's like almost like retro futurism, but like modern and sharp, and it's just this kind of like bright orange and like a sharp, very saturated like industrial blue, like almost like a cerulean, and like color names and everything, like all the real specification of like something, um, uh, being able to have more precise language and descriptions of what you're trying to do, what you want to do. That'll come to you as you learn more about it, whatever your field is, whatever you're trying to do. Like Cerulean, I know from fucking Pokemon, for example. Pokemon Red and Blue. It's the second major city that you go to after Pewter City, where the second badge is. Cerulean is where the second badge is, but and Cerulean is like that's a color, because every town in Pokemon Red and Blue is named after a color. Besides the first one, which is called Palette Town, like color palette kind of thing. But yeah, and then like Cerulean is this really, really bright, like brilliant blue, and so it's because in that town it's like the uh, second gym leader is a water type, right, Misty, and so of course I call it Cerulean City because it's like water, and blue and everything, and of course the town is like on a cape and stuff like that. And so it's cool, like it's all just up there, but actually, now I'm looking at it, maybe if I saw it in real life, um, I would think that cerulean is the color that I'm looking for. But there's this kind of like blue color that I see, like there's this band or musician, Fisk Industries, I think. Yeah, and they have an album where it has this like retro futurism thing. EPs and Rarities came out in 2007, and the album cover is a blue that's more in line with what I'm thinking about. And digital, like computer screens, don't fully recreate what some colors look like in real life, unfortunately. That could be a really cool advancement if they can really get that really correct. Maybe in order to do that, you have to like be able to simulate the whole universe, which it seems like what we're trying to do anyway. So, um, but trying to be like gods, who knows? But yeah, anyway, I imagine that back to that composition I was thinking of. It's like this woman in this orange jumpsuit and this big like bright blue and some retro features and kind of thing. But it looks kind of cool, like technical looking, like tech design, um, that kind of feeling and genre, I guess, maybe. And I'm thinking all that stuff, and I could like try to recreate that. And in the process of creating that, this is what I was trying to say before, I think. In the process of creating that, I could realize like it's not exactly what I was thinking of, and it actually looks kind of weird, or like I'm having trouble getting it right. And then you play around it, you experiment, and then maybe you can look up like what other people are doing and or something similar, um, and maybe you could ask somebody else like I'm trying to get this to look like, what do you think? Like, what do you see? Like any like obvious things I can do or whatever. Um, but yeah, I don't know. This is all like I started this rant before I started recording. I normally don't. I record these things for myself, but I don't release them. I just turn on voice memos or I like write notes. Um, I do this all day, like all the time. And but I was thinking like I wouldn't want it to be like a YouTuber and everything. And I'm like, well, what should I upload. And I've been thinking for like years, like I should just record these things and upload it. But because it's like these are like my analyses on like how to learn things and how to get into different fields and do all that stuff. So it might seem weird because it started halfway through, but basically this started because I'm trying to figure out like what I've been missing in terms of trying to get good at like art, trying to get good at music, um, because and how to just like create things that you like and how to like absorb the skills of other people and figure that out because I've had a lot of trouble with that myself over the years and something I'm trying to like walk myself through this process of trying to add in things that I felt like um, I was missing, and a lot of it is like uh, I look at and consume a lot of art that other people are doing, and that really informs your taste, and you're like, oh my gosh, because it's like that is literally just like whatever you like, and like you can go on Pinterest.com. There's this new site I found. It's cosmos.so, cosmos.so, um, and it's like Pinterest. I think they just announced like a $15 million Series A, which is crazy. It's like March 11th, 2026 right now. Because it just looks like another Pinterest to me. Maybe their algorithm is much more interesting. Um, and I like some of the stuff on there. Like it's showing me this cool like, graphic design and shit. And, like there was this great website called FFFfound.com. It was like five F's and four F's and then found. That was a cool website where it just showed you like all this like inspiring stuff. Um, and it also like would show erotica too, like if you found it, which I thought was great because a lot of artistic inspiration to me is erotic, and it sounds like oh you're just like a gooner or something, but like I think that's bullshit because like the human body can be very nice to look at, and especially women. I'm biased and I like women, but I think that like erotica and like these like tantalizing visuals are very closely related. At least they are for me. Um, and so I would want to incorporate a lot of those themes in my artwork and the designs that I do because it's really appealing. It looks nice. It looks really cool. It's fun. It's exciting. It's really nice to look at. It's tantalizing to look at. It's salacious, like that kind of shit. Anyway, but yeah, you can look at these websites. These like kind of like inspiration websites. There's a lot of like people have social media accounts where they post like inspiring like good art. You can follow artists that you like, and you just see what they're doing, and oh my gosh, it's so good. And like you know when you like something, right? And you just have to trust that. And it's like, oh, but this is kind of weird. Like you know, um, this isn't like what's popular right now. But I'm like, I really like it for some reason. It really looks really cool. Like I fucking love those colors. And maybe like the current trend or whatever, and the popular zeitgeist is like, everybody likes really muted colors or something. But you're like, I love these. These are really bright, really cool. So just go for that. Like, who cares? Because that's what you like. And I think what you might realize, and a lot of people say this, but if you go towards what you actually like, um, chances are there's going to be other people that also like that too, or at least one other person, right? Because and especially if like you find artworks that you really enjoy, somebody made those, right? Someone put that stuff together, maybe a group of people or something. Um, and I know we have like AI stuff now, but even then, like somebody prompted it maybe, and I don't know, it could start to get to the point where just telling AI just generate a whole page of stuff and just keep going, and sure, but I don't know. But at the very least, you see stuff and you know if you like it or not because it hits you. Um, and if you feel like you don't have that sense yet, like maybe if you're younger, you're not really sure, um, or you've just not been exposed to too many things, um, just keep looking at stuff, keep consuming things, like watch movies. Like if you're an artist, right? If you like movies, If you like visuals, like watch movies, play video games, browse the internet, browse Pinterest. That's the popular one. Like any other sites that you find, they have like this cosmos.so website that I found, or other things. There's Behance, um, Adobe's thing. Dribble was another one. I mean, it's kind of fallen off. I don't know, for like designers. Um, but yeah, like just Twitter and stuff. Um, and you can find these things and just keep browsing and keep track of what you like. Put it in a playlist, put it in a you know a folder of like things like favorites, or like just like it or something, so you can keep track. Like, okay, I like this one, and it's just like, oh, like, oh, that looks cool. Oh, I like that. It's kind of like, whoa, like that looks awesome. That's so beautiful. I'm like, oh, that's really sharp. I really like that. I really enjoy it. Um, it's just very honest and authentic, and it's like, it's just that just gets triggered within you. You have no idea what's gonna hit you until you see it, and oh my gosh, it's great. It's like you find there's like a new like food that comes out or something. It's all the rage. Like some new, like, I remember like the cronut, like that croissant plus donut was a big thing, like 10, 15 years ago. Like this is famous, made by some French baker or something, and he like opened up like a donut stand or a cronut stand in like Central Park in New York City, and all he made was like a cronut, and you get one a day, and the line was like long as fuck, so long. Everybody was obsessed with it, and like, or it's just kind of popular. It's like a thing. Um, but you don't know if you really like that until you eat it, and you can taste it, and you just allow yourself to honestly say an opinion. You could like it, be like, this is like one of the best things I have ever tasted. This is amazing, and you just like it. But if you don't like it, then you're like, it's really not that great. It's not hitting me that hard. I'm not really that impressed. And I like sushi better or something, because I remember when I ate sushi, I just loved the taste. The texture was amazing. I love the experience. It was really fun. It looks good. I like how it feels in my mouth. And that sounds weird, but it's true. It's part of food, and like tasting food. And so if you feel like you don't have that sense, or it's not fully developed or something, then go do that. Just go consume things. Go experience things. Watch movies. Look up stuff and just be wowed, and take note of what you like, and save it or something. I've been doing that for years, a long time, and I think for me, like, I spend too much time consuming, and if that could be you too, so you want to be careful of that. But you know, you should spend time like developing your taste and seeing what other people are doing, because people will be doing something that's just like so cool, like, oh my gosh, just fucking looks so beautiful. That's amazing, like, how did you do that, And it's great if you can talk to those people. That's awesome. And you can poke the brain, like, how'd you do that? Like, what's your process? Like, how long have you been doing this? Did you have any advice? Like, can I show you like a piece of my artwork, and you just tell me like one little piece of feedback or something, um, and find out like the whole portfolio or whatever. That's a good thing to do if you talk to like people who are better than you, and who know how to do stuff, that you like, right? Or they're further along than you in some way. You ask them for advice, ask them what they did, tell them where you're at. Maybe like, I'm having trouble doing this, and maybe they could be, oh, look, you need to get like this book. It'll tell you everything. Or like, oh, you just need to do like this and that. Like, just sit there and like, don't worry about how your song sounds, for example. Like, just like write something, and like just try to like, even if it's like 30 seconds or like 10 seconds, just try to complete something and make it sound nice. Try to make it sound professional. Just go through a bunch of steps and like just see the end result. Um, and then, excuse me, when you listen to it back, you might be like, oh, I wish I added like this sort of thing there. That would be cool. And you don't necessarily get those ideas unless you're like working on it. And that's the weird part. And sometimes you will. I don't know. Like when I was a kid, I just kept trying to make websites all the time. I saw all these really cool websites, and I try to make stuff that was like that. I like mess with templates and stuff, and I just get these ideas like, oh, I want to make it like red. I want to make it blue. That will look really cool. Like, what happens if I do this? What if I change the color to like green here? Like, whoa, that looks really pretty. like it's beautiful, and it hit me like drugs, Um, and so that was really exciting for me. That's why I like visuals and stuff, I guess. But and for you, it might be like sports. Like you saw like a sports game, and like I want to play baseball, like sorry, but it really like you get that excited. I don't know, like. And then like you just get obsessed. You watch every single baseball game. You stare at like how they're like holding the bat, and, like how they pose themselves and that kind of thing. And when they swing, when they don't swing, you're fucking obsessed. And you go in the backyard and you try to do that yourself. Like that's fucking awesome. That's really good. And that's how you really grow this stuff. And then like you get into it, you get a little bit better. You seek out somebody's better than you. You take a class, take a course, go to a summer camp. You know, um, try to get better and better and better. Learn more about it. Get books. Um, go to college for it. That kind of thing. Get a scholarship. Get scouted. All this different stuff. Um, that's like this is really how you do that, and then you get to this point where you become so good that people might want to pay you to do this because you can deliver really good value. You're world class, or you can create something that people will value. They'll be like, I will pay you for this because I like what you're doing. It's really cool, and I like that style, and I I want something like that, like for my business, or like if you make that like a standalone art piece, I'll buy that from you. I'll pay you like $500. I'll pay you $1,000. I'll pay you $5,000. I'll pay you 10 grand. Can you do this? But put my face in it, something like that. Um, and like that kind of shit. Or like, can you do like branding for my company or for my game? Like, I love the kind of stuff that you can do. Um, I love your song. Like, do you want to play at my party? I'll give you like $200, just like, $100. Um, just like play at my party tonight, for like 2 hours, because there's a bunch of people that are coming. We're gonna have like 50 people, and we really like music like yours. We love music like yours, and then we didn't know that like one of my friends just like knows you, but we're having this get together, and we'd love to like you could just set up a guitar and like play or something. That would be so cool. Um, and I'll give you like $100. And if you think about it, like it's not that much money, but that's $50 an hour. And really, you could be spending like 4 hours, so it's like $25 an hour. But $25 an hour, it's not bad, especially for like a first gig for something. You grow the business, and then you can have somebody film it, and you upload it online. Now you have a portfolio piece and proof, like, hey, I played a party before. Check it out, and people see it. Oh, wow, okay. And then also, just for you, like you have that experience, and the next time if somebody wants you to do that, it's easier for you because maybe you try that and you're like, man, it was a nightmare. Like I broke a string and I had like I didn't bring any spare strings, which is really stupid. I don't know why I thought I'd be fine, but I wasn't, and it was really annoying. And then like maybe you realize like, oh, like I can bring two guitars to the gig or something, or I can just bring like a bunch of extra strings just in case, and it'll take me like I'll have to take a break for like 10, 15 minutes, which sucks, but then I can just get right back to playing, and I won't be handicapped and missing a string, you know, handicapped. Uh, that's like my OCD coming out. I don't know, but whatever. I'm crazy, whatever. Uh, but yeah, this is all stuff that's really good, and this is how you grow something, and how you get better at something, how you um, take a passion, something that like you see other people do, you catch wind of, and you start to figure out how to do it yourself, and you get better at it, and then you just constantly kind of like it's like walking in the steps of the master, where like you have somebody that you really like, and you try to copy them, like Mike, that kind of thing. um, Copy all the moves that Michael Jordan can do, try to do it. Can you dunk? Holy shit, can you make a shot from the half court line? Can you fucking do that? And I don't know much about basketball. I'm sure Jordan has done that more than once, at least once. But I don't know. But Try it. You see something that you see in a game, copy the move. See if you can do it. Maybe you can. Maybe you get fucking lucky. You're like, holy shit, and then you try again. I mean, you can do it again, and then you're like, oh my gosh, and then you fuck up the next time. You practice it for like a week straight or something, and you get kind of decent at like chucking the fucking ball and making it in at the half court line. At least by yourself, if there's not a game going on. And then like you practice that more and more, and then you play a game with your friends, and then like you just like you see this big opening at the half court line, and you just go over there and you fucking chuck it, and you land a fucking basket, and people are like, what the fuck, like holy shit, you blow a fucking 10-year-old's minds, that kind of thing, like 12-year-old, whatever, like yo, like you know, and this is how it starts. It's how it is, man. Um, and you just keep fucking doing that. But I think for me personally, this has gone on so long, so I'm gonna answer it. But for me personally, I kept seeing what other people were doing. I kept learning theory and like buying books and courses and doing that stuff, and like watching the lectures and like maybe taking some notes. But I wouldn't like fully copy what they were doing, even though I used to do that when I was younger. Um, which helped me. I would try to like I would just kind of unconsciously copy people, and people got mad at me because they're like, "You're copying me," But that's actually how you really learn how to do those things. So it's a good step to take. And obviously, like you want to kind of add variations and learn more, and so you make your own kind of original stuff. That can be a combination of things you can be inspired by, but directly stealing is not so good. Maybe you kind of understand when you're doing that. Like if you're like you take like the Apple logo, for example, and you can recreate the Apple logo for study, and you could try to make it really good, like make it really legit, like make like a fucking SVG or like a vector graphic or something of like the Apple logo, really painstakingly try to recreate it exactly, or very similar at least, so it looks legit. Like, oh, that looks like the real Apple logo. That's cool. And you didn't copy paste. You actually did it yourself. But if you tried to like say like this is my original logo, like obviously it's not. You copied it. Um, But if you try to do something like, oh, I took the stem away or something, it's like, well, this is just the Apple logo where you took the stem away. And then maybe you can like, you know, do something where it's like a pear or whatever. And it's like, well, this is a little bit too similar to the Apple logo, whereas a silhouette of a pear with a bite taken out of it, you know, like kind of a little bit too similar. But maybe you study enough logos that you do like um, the ABC logo or the CBS logo. You can do the IBM logo. Um, you can do the Disney logo. You can do the Nintendo logo. Like just all this different stuff. You just do these recreations, and then maybe you can kind of understand basic principles of logo design, like consistent text, one font if there is any text there. Um, how to like kind of like warp text to like make it look a little bit more appealing. This understanding of like it should look good in like one solid color, like black and white. That's it. Um, and maybe like you could have like a clever concept. Like you can take the Apple logo, and I don't know if this is exactly what they think, but it's sort of like Eve biting the apple. So it's like almost like a forbidden fruit or something, um, where it's like this is like the forbidden fruit computer, where it's like, oh, we're like the sexy side or like whatever. I don't fucking know. It could be like evil or whatever, but and you could think, well, maybe I can think of like a little story for that, for my own thing. Like you know, um, like I have a company right now that I'm trying to do. It's like a game company, and the idea is like we're like smart, kind of offbeat stuff, um, and but we're trying to like come at this angle where it's like this is actually better, and we want this to be mainstream. So like I don't know, it could be like we could do like an eye logo, like just a single eyeball, and like I know like the CBS logo, pretty sure CBS, broadcasting company, is this eyeball. It's a very simple eyeball, very simple. Um, we could do something like that and not copy it exactly, but it could be like this. It's looking off to the side, which is kind of like what we are, where it's like there's all this stuff going on over here, like mainstream Hollywood. It's like, no, we want you to look over here. What's going on over here? And actually, this stuff is really cool. And we could do something where it's like an eye looking that way, but it's like surprised. or we can do an I with an exclamation point next to it, like something like that. Um, and so you kind of like understand these like simple principles that are like based off of like stuff that you study and stuff that you see other people are doing. And it's hard, I think, and where I got really tripped up, and last thing and then I might stop this, where I got really tripped up is I wanted to be very original. I didn't want to copy people. I wanted to find like 100% originality in what I was doing, and I wanted to all just come to me after thinking about it a lot or something. And I didn't want it to be like anything else. And maybe that's just not exactly how it works. And I think there's a tendency maybe for artists where it's like, well, I want to be original. And like I just said that, but like you want to create something new, and maybe you think like as an artist, this stuff should come to you. And if you're not getting any ideas, well, then maybe you're just not very creative. Maybe you're not good at this. You're not cut out for this. This isn't for you. And that can be really heartbreaking because you're like, but hey, I really want to do this. I really want to be able to do this. And this is really upsetting me for like the longest time. And it's like, well, maybe this isn't for me. Maybe I'm not an artist. But I was missing pieces, I think, in my process where I'd see all this great art and I'd just stare at it and drool over it. Like, oh my gosh, the way this person's drawing is so good. Like the composition is amazing. The way they draw this person, this woman, is so appealing. It looks like the line weight is fantastic. The facial design is incredible. I love the colors of this graphic design. That font looks awesome. Helvetica, fuck yeah. Great font, looks good. This design looks so detailed and like luxury, and it's taking me to these like inspiring places, and it makes me feel so good, like light and airy, and like I want to do that. And then I would just kind of like open up a blank canvas and I would try to like create something, and then I just keep getting these thoughts of the stuff that I saw, and I'm like, well, I can't copy that. I have to think of something original. I have to. And so I kind of like pushed those thoughts out of my head until there was like nothing there, and then I'd just be staring at the blank page like, what do I do? you know but I think, as an artist, or a creator or something, or just like if you're trying to do anything, part of it is imitation. It is, at least learning, like, okay, oh, I see this like really cool composition where it's like this blue sky, and like the hill is like a really bright green grass. It's like almost like surreal, or just like unreal, like impossibly green, and like, man, like I wish I was there, I want to be there. And you see there's a bunch of art pieces like that, like a common one is like the old Windows XP background, but like there's cool stuff where like they have this like just like surreal like landscape, which is like almost like a flat, really super bright green, and like this perfectly blue skies, beautiful clouds, look perfectly white and wonderful. And then you're like, there's so many art pieces like that, tons. You see them a lot on the internet. And like, well, I don't want to just do what everyone else is doing. That's like, but you like that, If that's the idea that's coming into your head, that's the idea that's coming into your head. What are you gonna do about it? Oh, that's just like this thing. It's like, okay, do it anyway. Do it anyway, because maybe like the first thing you'll do is an exact recreation of that thing, or so similar. But at least now you're one step ahead of where you were, right? Or maybe many steps ahead, because you have something. And then you're like, and you learn by doing that, by trying to recreate these things, or like get that similar kind of feeling. And then you're like, maybe I can like make it really cool by like taking like a red like mech, like like a giant robot like from anime, and I can like put that in there. And you're like, well, I don't know how to fucking do that. Like, then they'll set you on another thing where you learn how to do that, and like maybe you can fudge it by taking a picture of like an action figure you have, or find one online and cut it out and put it there, throw some effects on it. You start by like tracing over it, and if you're like, I don't want to post a trace, you say, okay, well, it's just learning. And then you by tracing over and trying to like fuck with the image a little bit, you realize like, oh, I kind of like understand how this thing is structured now. And then from there you can like open up a 3D modeling program and like um, be like, well, maybe I can like recreate this, so I can draw it at least. You could try to draw it, and it looks like absolute ass. And you look at like the picture that you found, like other giant robot models that people drew or modeled in 3D modeling programs like action figures. You can buy one and pose it, like look at it, do like a custom pose yourself, and then you kind of get like better at understanding it. And then from there, you realize I really want like a 3D model. That's what I want in there. And then maybe you can find one. You can have someone else make one for you. You can find a freeware one, put it in there. You're like, oh, but I want to make my own. And it's like, okay, you can open up Blender or some 3D modeling program and try to make it. I don't know how to fucking do that. Okay, do Blender 101. Do that kind of program so you figure out a little bit more about Blender. And it's like, I want to make a giant robot, and maybe you can find a fucking tutorial on YouTube. Or you can download somebody else's 3D model and analyze it. Try to like recreate a simple version of it with the simple 101 knowledge that you learned. Um, and then it might still look like ass, but the thing is that you are taking steps. You're still further ahead than where you were. And then you might be tired. You take a break. You come back to it the next day. You work on it more, and you might be bored of it, but it's still like something to do. So you could go at it again and say, maybe I can make this just a little bit better today, a little bit better, a little bit better. And I really struggle with that too. I'm done with it after like a day. When I'm done with it, I'm done with it. But like maybe I have to not do that. But it's like just repeated attempts of trying to do this, you will get better. And if you want to gain a following too, just post what you have. And if you don't want to post what you have, at least show somebody. Even if it's like you found an art Discord, you can post it and try to get feedback, because there's other artists who can maybe help you. And maybe you can connect with someone who like specializes in 3D modeling giant robots, robot mechs and stuff. And like be like, oh dude, I'll help you. I'll help you do this. We can collaborate on this or something. And that's not perfect, but you can learn how to do it. And then maybe he can point you to tutorials of how he learned how to do that, or she, and then you kind of figure out how to do it yourself. But this process will take days, weeks, months, years. It just does, because you can only do so much in a day. You can only learn so much in a day, because your brain will get tired and exhausted and full. You gotta like kind of sleep, let your brain recover, and like build those neural connections. Things get marked with like acetylcholine or something, so it figures out which ones to strengthen, that kind of stuff. Gotta get good nutrition, good sleep, work out, drink water, that kind of stuff. Get sunlight, talk to people. But you do get better over time, and as long as you're getting better, I think that's really fucking good. You're seeing progress, and that's a really good thing. And this stuff takes a long time. You gotta be patient. You gotta be patient. You're not necessarily gonna like figure it out in a day. Sometimes you will, and it's really fucking cool. But sometimes you'll kind of get stuck, and you realize like, oh, like there's this huge aspect of like making these digital art pieces that's like so many people will do 3D models, and you'll be like, well, I really like the look of that. I think that looks, maybe that's your taste. You love that. You think that looks fucking awesome. And then that is like another skill in and of itself, and you have to be like sharpening that blade every day, learning new things, making stuff. I think maybe a good thing is like you can have like a lot of upfront input of how to do something. Take a few days to just like do that and like try some stuff. But then like after like a week, you should be like, all right, like I'm gonna lower the input, and I'm gonna like actually do like real work. So I'm gonna like try to do the exercises that they were doing in the video. I'm gonna try to make something of my own. I'm gonna just like mess around with this shit and like click buttons and see what happens. If it's like don't do that if you're doing like surgery or something. But like, I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna like try to get hands on, and that's what we did at the coding bootcamp I went to. It was like in like the first week, a lot of it was just like lectures, and we did get hands on pretty quickly, but it wasn't like 20% lecture, 80% hands on. But after like a few days, that's what it was. It was like a lecture in the morning, and the rest of the day was just hands on. work, and like really doing it, not talking to you. It was like, okay, now you got to do this for most of the day. Um, and I think that's what I've been missing with art specifically, where I'm like, I was just like looking, getting inspired, which is great. Um, and I was like looking at theory, which is good, and learning some stuff, but I wasn't doing enough. So it's like I have to like apply everything I learned. I have to like copy all the exercises myself. I have to do this stuff myself. I have to see the artwork that I like, try to recreate it, study it, analyze it, that kind of stuff. It's really important, very important. And I just kept messing out on that because I would get exhausted, and I was like, oh. Or I would just try to like prematurely go into making my own art pieces, um, without studying other people's art pieces enough, stuff like that. Um, so, and then because of that, it's like I was trying to write with an incomplete alphabet. But I'm still trying to figure this out myself. This is kind of where I'm at. Um, that it's helped me to think about things in that way. Um, and this is after like 15 years of trying to figure out how to like really learn things as quickly as possible and organize that and rapidly learn. I'm doing this with multiple skills right now. I'm doing it with art, music. I've done it with Japanese. I still can't speak for shit, so maybe don't fucking listen to me. The furthest I've gotten, I would say, is like computer programming. But what I learned is that with computer programming, because I was an actual engineer, I was a software engineer. I actually was working as one and made money. Um, what I found with that is that really taught me that if you really want to learn something rapidly, you can do this like self-learning stuff, um, but you should go to like some sort of class or program or school or college where the intent is like we're gonna get you from point A to point B, where like B is like you're good, like you can like do this as a job. You are above a certain threshold where like people consider you valuable, and we have a program that we have designed over years that they learned from somewhere else or wherever that is going to help you get there, and you try to take as much out of that program as you can and immerse yourself in it. And that's what I did with coding, because I went to a boot camp and I really took that shit to heart. I was there like every day, even when there wasn't class, trying to practice. Um, and you get good, you do. And then I went from there to getting a job, and then I was like, okay, that's my life. This is what I'm doing. So you do get better. Um, but yeah, and I missed that with art. I did it. I did go to an art boot camp for a little bit, and I learned some stuff. But really, I probably should go for more. And I haven't really done it with music. Like I sort of have. Like I went to like performing arts camp when I was a kid. I took some guitar lessons. But I would really like to go to like an intensive course where it's like, all right, we're gonna teach you how to be like a professional musician and make your stuff sound commercial and professional and that kind of thing. And that would be the intent of the program, and it would be high quality. So that's another good way to learn too, and really rapidly get into something. And that's where you get to the promised land of like you're doing what you want to do with your life, which is amazing. And then from there, it's just getting better and scaling up, and then like trying to make more money off of it. So and then you just get better and better, which is usually how you do that, I think. But yeah, anyway, I'm gonna cut this off with that. I just talk on and on about this stuff. I think I have a good idea of what I need to do today to sort of redress and fix up some of the issues I've been having with my learning process. Um, like specifically like looking at other people's stuff and breaking it down and trying to study it and trying to recreate it too. Um, and don't be scared of it being good, because by doing this stuff you might get really good really fast. Don't be scared. I think I've been scared too, because it's almost like you don't feel like you should be able to be not a beginner. It should take you like years or something. It's like maybe it won't, you know. And it's fun to be in that beginner phase. It absolutely is. It really is, because it's just so exciting. So there is like a sadness of like not being there anymore. But maybe like you can supplement that by teaching a class, or if you want to get at the beginner phase, if you want to feel that way, find something that you're not good at and do the same thing. Like for me, maybe that like after this it'd be sports. I'm getting older. I'm fucking 32, but you know, um, but I suck at sports, or maybe I'd, go into like farming or something. And I remember I was really interested in like aquaponics and hydroponics in my 20s, early 20s. I go back to that. So that's how you like, keep that excitement alive. And you do become this like eternal student. But even then, like with computer programming, for example, I learned so much. Now I'm going on. With computer programming, I still was just learning, just constantly learning. That's why it's a great field for people who really like to just keep learning, because there's way too much in computers to like I was learning math. I switched to like advanced math and stuff when they're trying to like just get good at it. This graphics programming, this AI stuff, that field is huge. There's so much to do, and it's just impossible to do it all in one lifetime. Um, so yeah, I think of it like that. But for me, art was always really exciting, and I think I'd just be remiss if I never really tried. So, and I have. I've been doing it for years, and I love like YouTube and stuff. So this is another foray into that for me, like making a YouTube video. Um, I might look back on this in years and cringe, but at least I fucking did it. So, at least I fucking did it. Um, but yeah, so if any of that advice or whatever is good for you, I kind of just was started like talking to myself, like having this like spontaneous lecture out loud. That was trying to like guide myself into like better habits for my study and my learning with stuff specifically like graphic design and art and music. Um, but if this helps you, let me know. If you want to hear more or see more, let me know. Subscribe. I hate it when people say that shit, but if you want to, go for it. I just kind of decided halfway through my rant to upload this, so see what happens. But yeah, I hope it helps, and maybe I can upload more about how I learn and how I study, because I've been like developing these study and learning methods for like 15 years at this point. Um, so yeah, go forth, prosper. It's so fucking lame, old, but and go after your dreams. Don't fucking give up, because as long as you're still alive, there's no point in not trying. So um, yeah, don't give up on your dreams, even if you're old. I don't know. Try to grab that fucking piece of gold. Do it. Okay, bye. Peace.